podcast. Of course, the audio version for your listening pleasure. And as well, for this week, I decided to actually split things up. So I am looking to actually do the AEW review for AEW All Out 2021 for this week. And of course, at the end of the month, I'll be looking to review Extreme Rules. I was trying to actually do both of them together back to back, but I couldn't wait. And since everything that went down with AEW, with All Elite, um, be able to do their thing and everything for All Out, um, for AEW, I really wanted to actually talk about it since I feel like there was a lot that went down and I couldn't be able to wait any longer and decided to do it as a surprise. So hopefully you guys are enjoying your week and had a really good weekend. Another weekend of pro wrestling, and it seems like it doesn't have any signs of stopping. So 2021 for pro wrestling has been crazy. There's still a lot more that's still going on, I feel like, and it's definitely an exciting time. So welcome to another episode for the In the Hot Seat podcast. Again, this is my AEW All Out pay-per-view review for 2021. So I do have basically everything that went down to courtesy of CBS Sports is where one of the places that I like to look for results and everything, and just to also refresh my memory. So let's get right down into it. Where we had Best Friends and Jurassic Express taking on the Hardy Family Office on this one and dealing with their fair share of problems. On this, where we had the likes of course, Luchasaurus on this one, and Helico and Jack Evans on this one. Of course, Jungle Boy dealing with them as well for helping out with the Best Friends side of things. So it's nice to see that pairing as well. But we also had the return of the Butcher on this one. We haven't seen him in quite a bit, so it was nice and refreshing to see him back. It's been quite a bit since we've seen him, but in the end, Best Friends and Jurassic Express are defeating the Hardy Family Office. So that was the only match that was on the buy-in. So originally there was supposed to be the Women's Casino Battle Royal. That was supposed to be on the kickoff of buy-in, rather I should say. So that actually had to change the plans because Pag and as well Andrade, they were supposed to have their match on the main card, but there was travel issues. So now we're going to be seeing that this week on Rampage. So a couple of things got switched around, and it was actually cool that the Women's Casino Battle Royal was able to actually be on the main card. I was happy about that, to see that there. So we'll get into that in a little bit on who won and what went down. But going into the main card, the first match on the main card where we had the AEW TNT Championship on the line between Miro and Eddie Kingston, and I really wanted Eddie Kingston to actually beat Miro. I feel like if anyone could beat him, I feel like Eddie Kingston would have been one of those guys. But Miro has been doing fine on his own, and I like it that way. I think it's been cool. I know, of course, a while back that Lana basically had a contract. She was basically released and everything from WWE, so that got me thinking maybe over time she would actually join Miro in AEW. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I missed them together, but that's just as a side note. But this match was an interesting match to say the very least, and that's one to see if Eddie Kingston can actually stop Miro on this one. We saw the focus on Miro's neck on this, the explosive suplex, which is really cool. Kingston actually having a crossbody as well. I saw these two going back and forth. We saw the drop kick and everything, and a little bit of everything in between, and actually having Miro actually defeating Eddie Kingston and remaining AEW TNT champion. So that doesn't really bother me so much. I would like I said, Eddie Kingston to win, but it is what it is, and I'm actually cool with that. So I'm sure over time we got to see more out of Eddie Kingston and having him do the singles one. I know he's been dealing with Jon Moxley too at times. So there's that. Then when we had, speaking of Jon Moxley in his next match, where we had Satoshi Kojima on this one, and still trying to get familiar with the New Japan names and everything. but at the same time, I think it's pretty cool to see something different, especially with the New Japan stars in this one. Um, with this, we did try and have like this sign of respect on that, but John Moxley, I wasn't really having it at the time and everything, so it did take a while to actually earn that respect throughout the match and everything, and then we saw like a chop fest basically on this one. The elbow drop on that, the brain buster, which is pretty crazy. But John Moxley came back. He was able to get the win there, and to see where he's gonna go from there. Then we had the AEW Women's Championship on the line, the Women's World Title, Dr. Britt Baker and Chris Statlander. On this one, two of my favorites, and I was really hoping that my alien would actually get it with Chris Statlander. That would have been awesome, but that wasn't the case. But we did see, of course, the lockjaw and everything, and these two actually, in the way, could have went either or on this one with the way how things were going. But we did see like the neck breaker on this one, the Michinoku driver on that. We did get to see quite a couple other stuff and everything in between, but Dr. Britt Baker was able to retain the AEW Women's World Championship. It sucks that Chris Statlander didn't get the win, but you know, it definitely actually does make sense to keep things going for Britt Baker and to see who we're facing next. That should be definitely interesting, and it definitely showed too in the battle royal, which I'll get into a little later on, that basically a who's who there, and anyone can actually be able to face Britt Baker next. Then we get into the AEW Tag Team Championship match, of course, the steel cage match between the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers, and this one getting definitely into a bloody matchup, definitely for sure. And it was interesting to see the build-up going into this, as well as see who could actually do it. I was hoping the Jurassic Express would actually be in this match, but you know what, Lucha Brothers actually advancing and facing the Young Bucks for the tag team championships was definitely crazy to see, especially that move off the top rope, not from the top rope, but from the actual cage itself, which is wild to see that from Rey Fenix. In the end, we did actually have the Lucha Brothers actually getting the tag team championship, so that was really dope, and to be able to see that, so that was awesome for that as well. Then we get into the Casino Battle Royal, and this one we had the likes of Thunder Rosa on this one, where we had Tay Conti on this one, Nyla Rose. It was really kind of hard to actually see who I wanted to win because I had so many favorites and there was so many possibilities to actually see who was going to win. Basically, it was either down to like Thunder Rosa or Tay Conti. That would have been cool, seeing any one of them to win, if I'm all honest. But we did have a surprise on this one, and that's why Ruby Soho actually debuting and showing up in the Casino Battle Royal. That was really cool to be able to finally see her fresh out of WWE, and to be able to have her in with all those other women in there, which was really cool to see on that one. But we did get to see the dominance from Nyla Rose on this, trying to be able to win 2 back-to-back Casino Battle Royals on this. But that obviously wasn't the case. Ruby Soho ended up actually winning the actual Battle Royal, so that's really cool. So maybe in the future she'll be able to obviously face Britt Baker. That wouldn't surprise me, and that would be really cool. I wish she would have won the Women's Championship in WWE. That would have been a long time coming. It was unfortunate that didn't get to happen, unfortunately, but now we get to really fully see what Ruby Soho can actually do, so I'm definitely happy that she is in AEW. Then we had MJF and Chris Jericho. Basically, if Chris Jericho didn't win, he wouldn't wrestle anymore in AEW. Basically, we'll go on commentary, do other stuff besides wrestling. So we saw, the different types of matches too that both MJF and Chris Jericho would actually be able to deal with over time in the laborers of Jericho. So this one actually adding a lot more to it, and thus having a stipulation and everything. But these two, making sure to see basically MJF really wanting it. It must win for him just as much as Jericho, so it really could have went either or. We had the power bomb on this one, dealing with Jake Hager as well at one point. Another referee coming in as well. So a lot was added into it, but overall, Chris Jericho found it right, and he actually defeated MJF on this. So we'll see where that goes and everything, from them being not only just dealing with trying to get along as a team to now dealing with the feud. So we'll see where things, maybe if they will continue or not. I don't really know, so we'll see with that. But Chris Jericho, in a way, moving past MGF and to see where he goes from here. And then we had the welterweight match, CM Punk and Darby Allin. It's been a long time since CM Punk has been in the ring and being able to have his in-ring debut for AEW All Out. And what a better way to have it in Chicago and everything. So CM Punk basically having it where he didn't really miss a step on this one. Of course, he definitely saw the go to sleep, which is really cool to see on that. And Darby Allin doing everything that he can to actually stop CM Punk. And of course, we had Sting basically there in full support for Darby Allin as well. But CM Punk was able to actually have the win and actually defeat Darby Allin. So that was really cool to see. So with this one, basically, it would have been cool to see Darby Allin win, but CM Punk winning, especially for his first match back, definitely makes sense. So I'm curious to see where things will go. And CM Punk had that respect for both Darby Allin and Sting towards the end, so that was really cool there. Then we had Paul White and as well QT Marshall on this one. This one was actually rather short and it really lasts far too long or anything, but we did get to see a few things, really, especially what Paul White usually does and everything, like the chops and things like that. And in the end, we actually had Paul White actually getting the win, and we'll see where things go from here. I'm sure things actually definitely will continue between them. So it was actually refreshing to see Paul White actually in the ring again. He had like the similar WWE in-ring gear and everything, so that was really cool. So it definitely has been interesting to say the least. Then we had the AEW World Championship, Kenny Omega and Christian Cage on this, and I was really wanting Christian Cage to actually be champ on this, double champion, if you will. But, we did see a lot here. We did see, of course, the V-trigger. We saw the DDT on this one. A lot, basically, I state the Good Brothers are actually getting involved at one point, trying to stop Christian and everything. But I really wanted, like I said, Christian to win, but Kenny Omega came back eventually. He was able to keep the world title, and we'll see where things would go, because this is where things get interesting and crazy and makes things really exciting. So not only did we have Ruby Soho actually making her AEW debut, but after that, after the world title match, Kenny Omega basically was wanting to end things there and got on the mic and everything, and just basically saying that he was trying to have the crowd go home happy for in his terms and everything. But then we had Adam Cole come out. He was able to crazy as all hell and actually make his AEW debut dealing with the Elite. So that makes sense there. I wasn't too sure if Adam Cole was going to stay with WWE or not, go to the main roster, but he decided to actually show up and actually be in AEW, and it's actually cool. He gets to be with Britt Baker with his wife and everything, so that's really cool, and to be with the Elite. Also, we had Jungle Boy and everything with the Jurassic Express actually there, full support for Christian and everything there as well. But also, was it going to end there, because we had Bryan Danielson, yes, actually making his AEW debut basically and trying to stop the Elite and everything, help out Christian and Jurassic Express and all that. And it was just wow and crazy. So not only do we have Adam Cole, but we have Bryan Danielson. So it was definitely something to see. So now there's going to be a lot of feuds. I can already see Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson already as a feud. So there's that. We can see actually Bryan Danielson dealing with CM Punk, whether it be a team or whatever. There's just so many different matches now And it's just crazy that most of these WWE stars are now going to AEW, and that's going to make things a different landscape and everything for both companies. So that's what makes it exciting that way. So it's just been a wild and crazy 2021, and we're just getting started, and it's basically September already. So who knows what will be happening, not just for the rest of the year, but going into 2022. So a lot of interesting and exciting things to look forward to. So welcome to AEW, Adam Cole and Brian Danielson, and Ruby Soho. So three AEW debuts in one night. So AEW All Out has to be one of my favorite pay-per-views, definitely of the year, and if anything, probably maybe pay-per-view of the year as a whole, since we're in September. So we'll see what AEW Full Gear has to bring. So I know that's be the next pay-per-view in November. So we'll see what that brings. But anyway, that's basically in a nutshell what happened at All Out. Those are my thoughts. As always, leave your thoughts if you're watching this on YouTube, and just checking it out on Twitch, and actually be able to discuss things on the actual Twitter page and everything, the Facebook fan page and everything else in between. Check out all the socials as well for the In a Hot Seat podcast. So there is more than one way to actually be able to continue the conversation and the support. So again, if you're watching this on YouTube, continue to subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a like, and as well leave your comments down below. It really helps out the channel, and as well here on Twitch, and as well for the audio versions of the podcast, whether it be on Anchor and or Spotify. So I definitely appreciate it. So yeah, so a little impromptu podcast episode for this week for the In the Hot Seat podcast. So wanted to be able to talk about that and just go to wait anymore. So at least I got it out there. So those are my thoughts again. Definitely let me know yours. And until then, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your week and everything. So I will see you on the rest of the socials and everything. And we'll continue talking pro wrestling and other non-wrestling related things. There's still so much more on the podcast on the way that's definitely non-wrestling related. So be on the lookout for that. And there'll be a lot more exciting things to come. So again, enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll catch you guys in the next podcast, whenever the hell that next podcast may be. Till then, see ya.